Today we're diving into a piece of art that is, well, it's dense, it's aggressive, and it is definitely political. It's an industrial rap song that builds its entire argument around two really powerful metaphors, a very visible idiot and a totally invisible octopus. We're going to break down exactly how it uses them to make a pretty shocking point about power.
Right from the start, the song opens with this whisper. It immediately gives you this sense of conspiracy, you know? It's a hook that tells you, straight up, that the obvious target, he isn't the real story. It forces you to ask, well, if he isn't the problem, then what is?
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the song's two main villains. Then, we'll analyze its portrait of the idiot. After that, we'll uncover the octopus that it claims is lurking beneath. We'll even trace that symbol's long history. And finally, we'll get to the song's big final twist.
Okay, so the entire argument of this song, everything it's trying to say, really rests on this strict separation between two figures. It's a setup designed to argue that what we all see on the news every day is just a performance, a distraction from a much deeper and way more sinister force at play.
And here is the core thesis. The song is basically saying that the loud, controversial figure is just the tip of the iceberg. He's the symptom, not the disease. From the song's point of view, his entire job is just to be the clown in the show, right? To keep all of our attention fixed right on him, while the real power operates completely unseen, way beneath the surface.
So first, let's talk about how this song paints this absolutely brutal, satirical portrait of its most visible target. It doesn't just go after his politics, it deconstructs his whole persona, and what's really interesting is it often uses his own words to do it. The characterization here is just one of total immaturity. He's not shown as some kind of calculating, evil genius. Nope. He's a toddler in an oversized suit, a teenage bully whose only real tactic is to drown out any kind of reason with just pure noise. The song literally says there's no logic in the brain, just noise in the throat.
And this is a perfect example of one of the song's key techniques. It interrupts the crazy, aggressive music with these real-world audio clips. Some analysts call this a reality shock effect, where the sheer absurdity of an actual quote, it just becomes even more grotesque when you hear it set against the music.
And the lyrical assault just keeps coming. It frames him not as a leader, but as a kind of mascot for the greed. That line about treating the presidency like softcore porn, that's a really pointed accusation. It's basically accusing him of desecrating a respected office and just reducing it to a cheap vehicle for his own ego.
And there it is again. By dropping a real quote like this right into the song, the artists create this really jarring contrast. The claim of being a very stable genius just smashes up against the song's portrait of a screaming toddler. It really forces you, the listener, to confront the massive gap between his own self-perception and the artist's critique.
Okay, so if the idiot is just a distraction, then who or what is the song's real target? This is where the whole thing pivots. The lyrics move from this personal caricature to a much bigger, systemic accusation. And here it is, the octopus. This isn't a person, you see, it's a thing. It's the song's name for what it believes is the true ruling power, this shadowy network of corporate and military interests, what it calls the war machine structure sealing our fate.
So the power dynamic the song lays out is actually pretty simple. The idiot is the loud, visible puppet, right? The clown making all the noise. And the octopus, well, that's the silent puppeteer pulling the strings. The song argues that while the whole world is reacting to the clown, the octopus is the one who directs where the missiles go.
So this octopus, in the song's world, is this all-encompassing force. The lyrics claim it's the very structure that enables and protects the figurehead. It's the source of his money, the one who benefits from the oil, the one directing the real power. The song even gets apocalyptic with it, calling this system the actual mark of the beast. But you might be wondering, where did they even get this metaphor from? Is it new? Well, no. Not at all. The song is deliberately tapping into a really powerful symbol that's been used in political commentary for a very, very long time.
Yeah, some analysts actually call the octopus symbol an iconographic weapon, and honestly, that's a perfect way to put it. For generations, artists and critics have used this exact image to represent a power that feels overwhelming, insidious, and seems to have its tentacles in absolutely everything.
I mean, just look at the history here. Back in the late 1800s, it was used to show the British or Russian empires just gobbling up the globe. Then in 1904, there's this famous cartoon of the Standard Oil monopoly as a giant octopus with its tentacles wrapped all around the White House. The song just takes this historical symbol and gives it a modern update, making it represent an invisible system instead of a single company or a country.
So what makes the octopus such a potent symbol? Why does it work so well? Well, psychologically, it taps into some really specific fears. The many arms suggest a power you just can't fight on one front. The black ink is a perfect metaphor for lies and corruption, what the song calls the ink is black that's choking the world. And that alien, kind of inhuman look, it makes it the perfect symbol for a cold, faceless system that couldn't care less about people.
All right, so all of this, the idiot, the octopus, the history, it's all building to the song's final brutal conclusion. After spending minutes building up this whole dynamic of the puppet and the puppeteer, the song delivers this satirical punchline that's just designed to shock you and reframe everything you just heard.
And the song's final move, it's like a piece of rhetorical judo. It takes the target's most notorious real-world quote, a quote all about his power and dominance, and it just flips it, weaponizing his own words against him to deliver the ultimate insult.
And there it is, a shocking, vulgar parody that serves as the song's final, explosive statement on the power relationship it's been describing all along.
So this line is pure satire, right? It's meant to be the ultimate humiliation. The song's final argument is that the figure who presents himself as the powerful predator is, in fact, the prey of a much larger, older, and more powerful one, that systemic octopus that truly has him under its control.
So in the end, a song like this isn't just an attack. It's a really cynical statement about how power works. And it leaves us with a question to think about. When political art gets this aggressive, is it meant to be a warning, a kind of wake-up call to inspire change? Or is it just an expression of hopelessness, a scream into the void?